you know what? I was trying to think to myself, how can I make a video about video games? Because that's what I want to talk about. But how can I make something that will keep up with the algorithm that's currently on the channel, which is Black Escapism? How can I balance these two things out without making something that the algorithm won't push? And then the Lord blessed me with Relooted.
Treaties were signed, promises made and broken. Is it stealing to take back what was stolen?
Oh, wait, yes.
Stolen? Who's stealing them?
Us?
Oh, that's not how the game is played! You can't do that!
Let's talk about it. What's up, YouTube? My name is Mario, aka the real Super Mario. Check out the main channel because the main channel is popping, aka the Loot Box Hero, aka YouTube's greatest fat man here. Bring you another video. All right, so we have an interesting topic to talk about today. Today, the newest example of how not to do Black Escapism, Relooted. Of course, if you want to continue getting videos like this from me, of course, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell button, do all that good stuff that YouTube requires you to do to continue getting videos from me. Follow me at twitter.com/rsmario128. Like my video tweet, share my video tweet, and I will shout you out at this portion of the video. And you can always be notified when I drop a video because I'll drop every video link on Twitter. So it is what it is. All right, so one thing I wanted to do, just like a bit of an editor's note here. All right, I think I went a little hard on this game, and I didn't really talk about any of the good parts about the game. I didn't just want to leave the video like that, you know. So the game itself does not look like a bad game, okay? Honestly, the idea of a side-scrolling like Metroidvania heist game where you have to steal things without committing any violence, you can't kill people, I think that's a really good idea. And the game itself has a really slick presentation. The animation is good. The art style is good. They really captured like Afrofuturist motif in a way that is not like weird. Alright, you know what I'm saying? I think that they're pretty good on all that. Like there are some issues with like the lighting, which that could be just the fact that maybe the footage isn't finished. You know, because some of the lighting in this trailer does look like it was lit by the team that animated Shark Tale. You know, but one thing about this game, the gameplay looks slick and the music straight up banger, bro. I've been bopping to this little snippet for like a couple days now while I've been editing this, okay? So yeah, I didn't want to just dump on the game, like, cause I see a lot of people just doing that, and the game itself is not terrible. It's just there are issues with the route that they took for the story. That's all I want to do. I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm not trying to be a hater. Now here's the thing. There's a lot to talk about with this game, all right? Because Relooted is a game that was made by a South African studio that is based around essentially taking artifacts from museums that have been taken from various African countries and cultures. You know, so basically this band of modern day misfits are gonna go into white museums and take all the black items back, but kind of like that scene from Black Panther.
Now, tell me about this one.
Also from Benin, 7th century, Fula tribe, I believe.
Nah.
I beg your pardon.
It was taken by British soldiers in Benin, but it's from Wakanda, and it's made out of vibranium. Don't trip. I'm gonna take it off your hands for you.
These items aren't for sale.
How do you think your ancestors got these? You think they paid a fair price? Or did they take it like they took everything else?
You know, the one where Killmonger like kills the lady and takes the vibranium voodoo mask or whatever. Like, basically that's what's happening here. Okay, well, without the killing, because the game is completely non-violent, which is a whole different story. But you know, and yeah, it is about the reaction is about the way you would think it would be. No way this is real. A game with black people stealing called Relooted. I didn't know my bike was an ancient artifact. Why is a bike there, bro? Debo will be the DLC character. Debo confirmed for Relooted. We was Kangs the game. No. Oh man. They gonna go back and steal their crowns back, bro. And when you get caught, a cutscene of their moms playing, holding pictures of their high school graduation photo, be like, she ain't did nothing wrong. She ain't did. Good Lord, bro. See, this is why you don't do stuff like this, man. You bring on these reactions. I know what you're saying. Mario. What's wrong with black people taking back their cultural artifacts from white colonizers? Well, here's the thing, all right? Two things can be true at one time. Yes, a lot of the artifacts you see in these museums are artifacts that were taken because of colonialism. You know, they would come in and they would conquer an area, you know what I'm saying, and they would take some cultural artifact because it looked cool, or it was a trophy of their conquest, or it was actually something that they wanted to study to unlock the history of the area. The other thing that is also true is some of these objects, all right, were culturally insignificant at that time, all right, either through the progression of the culture or through the westernization of the culture or what have you. You know, sometimes it could be conquest by other local cultures that make that artifact to not be culturally significant anymore, you know. And so it was just taken because, again, it was culturally insignificant. It's a random mask. It's a random spear or something that was culturally significant before, but isn't now. But it is when it comes to studying history. All right. A perfect example of this will be a little thing called the Rosetta Stone.
Bailar?
Bailar.
Bailar. Yo bailo.
A few moments later.
Ahora la lengua me baila con paso.
Rosetta Stone's language learning tools may just be too immersive?
Not the software. No, the actual stone that the software is based off of. A stone that was carved during the Hellenistic period and is believed to have originally been displayed within a temple, possibly at Sisis. It was probably moved in late antiquity during the Mamluk period and eventually used as building material for the construction of Fort Julian near the town of Rashid and the Nile Delta. It was found in July of 1799 by a French officer, Pierre-Francois Bouchard, during the Napoleonic campaign in Egypt. It was the first ancient Egyptian bilingual text recovered in modern times, and it aroused widespread public interest with its potential to decipher previously untranslated hieroglyphic script. So, now this artifact, all right, the Rosetta Stone, is one of the most important, if not the most important, archaeological find ever. And it was a brick in a random wall, okay? All right? That just shows you that it was culturally insignificant. Nobody cared about this rock with the scribbles on it because these people live in Egypt. They probably see rocks with scribbles on it every other day. So it's not really culturally significant anymore. So, of course, it was taken to France and they unlocked the secrets of freaking ancient Egypt with it. Now that it is culturally significant, people want it back, even though it wasn't before. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, these people are so dumb. They just put the artifact in a wall. They didn't even think about it. They're just dumb. That's not what I'm going to say here, okay? It's just that the people weren't dumb. It's just that this wasn't culturally significant to them at that point. So they needed a rock. It's a rock. It just happens to be a rock with some scribbles on it. You know what I'm saying? Now, the thing is, there could have been an Egyptologist that could have came up and, went to college, came up and found this rock in a wall in a Walmart somewhere or whatever, you know what I'm saying, whatever wall that it happened to be at that time, and realized what it was and unlocked the secrets of ancient Egypt himself. That could have been possible. or it could have been a brick in a wall. Okay, all right, that's the thing. So the thing is, two things can be, you know, true at one time. That there are some cultural objects that were stolen, and there are some that were just not significant, and they were just taken because, oh, well, I'll just check this out and study it. Why is this history lesson significant to this game, Mario? Well, simple. Because the message of this game, all right, and this kind of pertains to a lot of Black Escapism, is this like us versus the white people. We gotta take our culture back from the white people. And it's kind of like, you know, you could have just made a cool heist Metroidvania game. Why does it have to be like oh, it's us versus the white people, man? Like, we don't really have to do that, all right? Don't get me wrong. Again, I'm not discounting what actually happened, but you could have just made a heist game that was a Metroidvania, all right? And I know people are going to be like, well, then it wouldn't be black. No, the whole cast is black. They're from Africa. It doesn't get much more black than that. But when people say, well, the story should be black, they're talking about capital B black.
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black.
Hey, yo! Shut the up!
All right, they're talking about politically black. All right, and so they combine politically black with culturally black. And so you can't be culturally black unless you're politically black. And that's how you get stories like Relooted. All right, so this way you can't just make a black video game about, you know, a team of black people doing heists. You know what I'm saying? No, it's got to be a team of black people stealing our culture back from the white colonizers. And it's like, when you do that kind of stuff, it turns people off. All right, not just like the anti-wokes or the culture warriors. It turns off regular black people because, again, what is it called? Black escapism. You're trying to escape reality. You can't escape reality if you keep violently shoving it into every orifice of fiction, okay? You can't. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem with these games. You know what I'm saying? Everything that is black has to be capital B black. And I'm like, no. And this is the reason why this is a godsend of a project, because this really covers all the bases I've been talking about. Not to mention some of these character designs are just...
Ugh. Brother, ugh. What's that? What's that, brother?
Dreadfully modern, bro. Like, some of the chicks is kind of fugly. I'm not saying that they gotta look like anime chicks. I'm not being like a Gunarati, okay? But it's terribly modern designs for some of these characters, man. Not only with the designs, but also with the writing of the story. It's gotta be a us versus them dynamic, or it's gotta be slavery or civil rights, or... No, just make a game with black people in it. That's it. You know what? I think the next project I'm gonna do, after the other one I've been trying to do for a while now, is I think I'm gonna find an example of Black Escapism in video games that actually works. And I kind of have an idea of what game I want to talk about, but I'm gonna need some time because I gotta do some research. You know what I'm saying? Tell me in the comments if you want an example of what I think Black Escapism could be. You know, tell me in the comments. And if you got an idea for something that would be ideal for Black Escapism, tell me in the comments and I might check it out. But boy, I don't think Relooted is it. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, people, have yourself a good one. I'm gonna get from under these lights because I'm melting like a daggone ice cream cone, bro.